be on the lookout for a stellium occurring in the sign of Virgo. That's on October the 8th, and it lasts until November 8th. That's of 2015. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your weekly Zodiac angels, and we're going to tell you what house each sign is going to be affected in, and that's with the stellium. We're also going to go over some other events happening this week. This is the transmission for the week from October 4th through October 10th. And we're going to just go over first some of the things that are maybe of lesser grandiosity, if that's a word. However, we want to feel that they're important as well. And then we'll get into this stellium. Okay? All right, so first, just to give you a little bit of information on the stellium. Again, it's in Virgo from the 8th of October till November 8th. Again, that's 2015. And the planets involved in that are Jupiter and Mars and Venus as well. Okay, now the moon is going to join the stellium in October on the 9th and the 10th, again this year, 2015. Now then the moon's going to leave, and then it will rejoin that stellium again in November, and we'll cover that part of the lunar aspect when we get to those future videos for at that time. Like during that week, we'll tell you about that. But for now, we'll go over when the stellium takes effect and when the moon is going to join in, again, some other situations going on, like because Mercury is going direct, that kind of thing. All right, so this combination of planetary and cosmological events, it's going to be sort of a perfect setup. And it will allow all of us to either become our own best friend or our own worst enemy, because we all do that. So let's try to be aware of how we are treating ourselves and try to be more friendly to ourselves, to like ourselves just a little bit more, and not give in to the indulgence of disliking ourselves, because that's not productive. Because if you dislike yourself, you'll end up disliking everybody else, and the world will become a very unpleasant place. So to keep the world positive and pleasant, we need to like ourselves, and then we'll more easily like others and befriend ourselves, and then we'll make friends with others more easily. All right, now on the 8th of October, we have the Venus ingress Virgo. So Venus is going to join the stellium. Again, that's on the 8th. And Venus is direct currently in Virgo. And again, this is going to last till November 8th, this grouping of planets. Now, the stellium includes, again, Jupiter, which is direct, and Venus, which is direct in the sign of Virgo, and Mars, which is direct as well. Okay, now, Jupiter is going to be in Virgo for quite a while, all the way through into 2016. You can check out our videos on that. And if you want to personally see how this is going to affect you personally, we do personal charts and personal readings. We do various types of readings. We can do astrology, we can do tarot, runestones. We're master in runestone and also tarot master. So we've studied those things quite a lot. So you can choose what you'd like to have done. And we also do angelic channeling if you don't want any of those things used. Okay, on the 9th of October, we have Mercury going direct. Now, Mercury is currently in the sign of Libra, the scales. And with Mercury going direct, that will cause the mind to prevail. and that will balance communication. So people will have better and more balanced, more fair communications if you don't let your imagination run away with you. So don't read into things, and we all do that, especially those people who do readings. We tend to read into things, but just try to not read into things. Try to just take communications as they come to you. Of course, there's always hidden agendas. But for now, with Mercury going direct, it would be good and beneficial and productive. And it would bring you more luck if you go ahead and just sort of take people at face value for what they say, at least this week. Now, this isn't always going to be true, but just for this week, especially with Mercury going direct in Libra. It's already in Libra, but it's going direct. And because Libra is an air sign and Mercury affects the mind, you understand. It helps for clear thinking and clear communication and clear understanding. On the 9th also, and from the 9th through the 10th, on the 9th and the 10th, the moon will ingress Virgo and join the stellium that we talked about earlier with Jupiter and Mars and Venus to join. Now that's going, again, then the moon will leave while the others stay, and then the moon will go back and join the stellium again in November, to put it simply. All right. So, again, Jupiter, Mars, and Venus are direct currently, and this is all having to do with this event, the stellium in Virgo. So again, the 9th and the 10th, the moon joins this grouping of planets in the sign of Virgo. And what will happen from that is the world will experience a new and very intense definition of exactly what the word perfectionism means. So it's going to get really, everybody's going to want to be so perfect. So the best thing you can do is, of course, do your best and always say, I'm certainly not perfect, but I'm certainly doing the best I can. And if you just say, I'm not perfect, nor do I plan to be, but I plan to enjoy myself, and, again, also why you work. You have to have some fun, and you can't worry about being so perfect, because you'll find that in that mechanical perfectionism, you lose the soul that makes you human and enables you to have that edge that machines just don't have. And that will make you much more successful to allow your soul and humanity to come through. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to allow an amount of emotionality that will make you unproductive. But you want to have a bit of a heart. But you want to then be able to do your job properly. And that will bring good fortune to you this month, this week, but I was also thinking, because I said month, because of the stellium that lasts through November. But again, this is just for this week, because we'll focus on next week when other things will be added and the moon will no longer be part of this grouping. All right. So, now before we get into the Zodiac angels and each of your signs and how your personal house will be affected, we want to get into, first of all, the guardian angels that are going to be in effect this week. We have Jupiter, Sagittarius, on the 8th. Also, that's Mars and Samael, and Venus Anael, journeying through the territory of Virgo, which is Hamaliel's territory. So that's Sachiel, Samael, Anael, and that's journeying together through the territory of Hamaliel. All right? On the 9th, we have Raphael, because of Mercury, the Mercury direct, influencing directly Libra and the angel Zuriel. So a lot less backpedaling, a lot less dodging questions, more straightforward communication between Raphael and Zuriel, which will help everybody. And bring more fair communication as well. Okay, for the lunar aspect, of course, Gabriel will join these planetary angels during the 9th and the 10th when the moon joins the stellium. All right, now we're going to look over the astrology angel magic evocations you can utilize this week, and we can just give you the correspondences so that you can utilize these correspondences in case you want to do a biblical rite or ritual with your zodiac angels and your guardian angels. We have the with the angels that we mentioned, and this is for the stellium, and it's for the moon and Jupiter and Mars and Venus, and because they'll be grouped in Virgo. And we've given you the days for Jupiter and Mars and Venus. It starts with Venus on the 8th, and with the moon on the 9th, and it's just 9th and the 10th, and then the moon leaves. But for for Venus, it will ingress Virgo on the 8th, and then will be there for quite a while longer. And again, the stellium lasts until November 8th. So the moon, the planetary angel, is Gabriel, and the incense is myrrh. The Hebrew letter is Gimel, and the psalm is Psalm 119, verses 17 to 24. And in the future, we'll give you some other verses. There's a lot in Revelations that you can utilize as well. But for now, we'll stick with this. But we'll give you more later, just for fun. Okay, and it gives you a different flavor to things, too. So for Jupiter, the angel is Satchel, the planetary archangel, and the incense is juniper berries. The Hebrew letter is Kaf, and the psalm is 119, verses 81 to 88. And for Mars, the planetary archangel is Samael, and the incense is cinnamon, and the Hebrew letter is Peh, and the psalm is 119, verses 129 to 136. And then there's the planet Venus, and the planetary archangel is Anael, and the incense cherries, and the Hebrew letter Dalet, the Psalm 119, verses 25 to 32. Okay, and then for Virgo, where they will be grouped, the zodiac angel is Hamaliel, the incense is peppermint, the Hebrew letter is Yod, and the psalm is Psalm 119, verses 73 to 80. Okay, now for the stellium, again, we're going to give you now your zodiac angels for your zodiac sign, and the house that the stellium will be affected towards each sign. So the house that's influenced, that's important, we're going to give you, and how it will affect the house that you're going to be affected in. We're going to give that to you now. All right, so you can use all the correspondences we just said, and you can add these correspondences for you personally. Okay, for the sign of Aries, the zodiac angel is Mechidael, and the stellium in Virgo brings you intense focus on daily routines in your 6th house of habits and health, your disciplines, your daily routines. For the sign of Taurus, the zodiac angel is Asmodel. The stellium in Virgo affords you precise intention on projects and or funding in your 5th house of children and creativity, and your children's creative projects, those issues. Gemini, for the sign of Gemini, the zodiac angel is Umbriel. The stellium is in Virgo, and that presents you with specific opportunities to improve your life in your fourth house of your home, your family, the kitchen, the hearth, the home. It's the real heart of the home that will be affected by the stellium. Remember, the stellium makes people very just focused on perfectionism and maybe a little critical, but also a lot of work gets done. For the sign of Cancer, we have the zodiac angel Muriel, and the stellium in Virgo brings you new ways of taking advantage of circumstances in your third house of transportation and communication. So people will want to know exactly how they can take better advantage of transportation and communication systems. For Leo, the sign of Leo, the zodiac angel is Virgo, and the stellium in Virgo pinpoints your center of attention. It pinpoints your heart with your second house, within your second house of money and possessions. So this is going to focus, the stellium will focus you, Leo, on the money, the possessions, the finances, what you physically own, property, things like that. So, for the sign of Virgo, the zodiac angel is Hamaliel, and this stellium, with all these planets grouped in Virgo, it gives you no rest from concern about how others conceive of you due to the influence upon your first house of self and your appearances. That's a lot going on in your first house of how you think other people see you, Virgo. And the perfectionism and the criticism of the self that might then turn into criticism of others, you want to just, you're going to have to not be too hard on yourself and not be too hard on others, or this could be problematic. So you need to, it could also be very helpful because you get a lot done, but you need to really relax the mind a little and try to not be perfect, and just try to be as normal as you can. And you'll, yes, of course, you can do very well, as long as you don't overdo the perfectionism and the self-criticism or the criticism of others. All right. For Libra, the sign of Libra, the zodiac angel is Zuriel. This stellium will affect you, the stellium in Virgo. It will give you a complete understanding of your own philosophies in your 12th house of spirituality. So this will be a time that's good for you to sort of be introspective and understand yourself better. For the sign of Scorpio, the zodiac angel is Barchiel. The stellium in Virgo brings you accurate knowledge about what others think of you regarding your 11th house of your friends and your reputation. So you might be concerned about how other people think of you when it comes to your reputation and what your friends think of you, and does everybody like you and all of that. And it'll bring you accurate knowledge about that, and that'll help you. For Sagittarius, sign of Sagittarius, your zodiac angel is Adnachiel, and the stellium in Virgo brings you precise information on how to benefit from increasingly positive occurrences in your 10th house of social standing and fame. So your social standing, your class is on the rise, increasing, and you'll see how you can get more precise information about that. For the sign of Capricorn, the zodiac angel is Hanael, and the stellium in Virgo provides numerous options to enlighten your 9th house of life path meaning. So how, what is important to you in your life, and how you can make that more meaningful. the river of life and where that's taking you. It even could mean a legacy, I suppose. For the sign of Aquarius, your zodiac angel Cambriel, the stellium in Virgo, overwhelms all other astrological aspects, placing extreme demands upon issues dealing with your 8th house of birth, sex, death, and death. These are important issues, so it'll be overwhelming. Again, kind of like what we told Virgo, you're going to have to try to not get too self-critical or critical of others, not get too much into perfectionism or criticism, because you can get a lot done and do very well. Just make sure that you understand that nothing in life is perfect, and that'll help, and have a little fun. All right, Pisces, the sign of Pisces. The zodiac angel is Nitziel, and the stellium in Virgo highlights your attention to detail when it comes to your 7th house of law and commitment. So this is going to make you very picky and draw your attention to legal matters and what people are, are they committed, are they not committed, these types of issues. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Join us again next week.